Yo guys, in this video we will model this Chrome Hearts and Converse sneaker in Blender. I'll cover all the most important steps, how I usually go about creating shoes and sneakers in Blender. In the next part I'll cover the UV unwrapping process in Blender and the texturing process in Substance Painter. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first and a very important step is to gather your reference images. Of course, the more you have, the better, but the most important ones would probably be the side view and the sole view. Now, we'll be making this shoe, this one, but it's pretty old. It's like really curved, so we'll just be better off using this reference image because they basically follow the exact same shape. Now I also got the sole view. Now we'll be probably using this image because I think it's a bit straighter than this one. And we also got the top view, which could come in handy. Okay, let's go into Blender. Now, in a Blender, let's start with our references. Here I also got all of the references for the shoe in PureRef. Here, let me make it a bit bigger. Got like all the images I could find. So we have all the angles, all the details. So yeah, references are really useful. Okay, let's hit 3 to go into the side view. Let's hit Shift A, image, reference. Now let's locate our side view. It would be this one. Okay. Now I also like to make all my models true to size. So let's hit this. Let's measure about 27 centimeters. Yeah, like this, like 26.9. This would be size 9. Okay, let's scale it to about the same measurements. Okay, this seems good. Okay, now that we got it, let's move it a bit closer. Go into the side view again. Now, let's do some changes to our reference image. First of all, let's give it some opacity so it's easier to work with. Okay, now let's mess with some other settings there. Now we only want this reference to be visible in the orthographic view from the side view. So on this panel right here, show in, let's deselect perspective. And now we see it from both sides, but I guess it doesn't really matter. But still, just so we're clear, let's put depth on. Let's put side on the front. So now from the side view, from this side view, we see it, and from the opposite side view, we don't see it. And in the perspective view, we also don't see it. It's just gonna make it a lot easier to work with and just overall speed up our process. Now I also like my shoes to be pointing the opposite way. So let's hit SX -1. Oh, sorry, SY -1 to invert it. Okay, now let's place it on our Y-axis. So it's placed nice and neat on our ground. Now let's add a cube to actually measure the proportions of the shoe to align other references. Let's go into this view. Just also put it on the Y-axis. Let's select our vertices and move them to about the same proportions as this shoe right here. Let's move it up like this. Okay, so we got the basic height and the width of the shoe. Now let's go into the top view with our 7 on the numpad. Shift A, image, reference, and let's load in our sole image. Now, if you all want to follow along, you can screenshot those images and just use them in your Blender file. I'll give you like some space here. This, 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 this. Okay, now that we loaded this file in, let's rotate it 90 degrees. R. Let's hit Control to push it normally. And now let's align it by those 2 points by the length of the shoe. Okay, we got it right here and here. Now let's select our cube and basically make it the same width as the sole view. Now we don't want to move our cube to perfectly align it, so we better move the reference image. Okay, like this. Okay, it's pretty maybe a bit like this. And also I don't think it's perfectly straight. So maybe we should like rotate it a little bit here. Just like this. Oh, and first of all, we also need to invert this image because it's in the opposite direction right now. So again, sx minus 1. Let's rotate it a bit. Let's align it again. We can make our cube a bit less wide. Okay, let's see these lines. Let's see these lines. And okay, we got it pretty good. Now let's do the same thing with the image settings for this image. Let's check opacity. Let's lower it down a bit. Side, front, and the select perspective. So now we don't see it in perspective. We only see it from the top view, not from the bottom view. Okay, so that's basically all the like actual reference images we have. I don't think we need the top view right now, because it's not really useful right now, so let's get to the modeling process. Okay, so how this technique works is we basically shape the cube into the shape of the sneaker or the shoe, like by adding loop cuts, by moving and changing vertices, edges, and by adding subdivision surface. So let's start shaping this cube. Okay, so our sole object will be like a separate object, so we don't really want it right now, so let's just try to align our cube. No, first of all, let's just move it up like this. Let's move this down, add a loop cut here in the middle, like right here, I think, yeah, maybe a bit like here. Let's select this face and extrude up. Now we can delete this face right here in the top, so our model looks like this. Now let's start moving the vertices to align them with the shape. Let's move this one here, this one here, this one over here. You can move them all with G and select the axis by hitting X, Y, or Z on your keyboard. Like this, and it's definitely pretty messy right now. Let's also add those two here. Now this part will be pretty difficult, I can already tell. Let's move them just here. Let's keep it all proportional, all the loop cuts in the middle, so we don't have any problems and some more in the future. maybe move it like this a bit so it's a bit straighter. Okay, we got this. Now let's add a loop cut here on the y-axis. Let's also add another edge here. Align it too by using Y again. Align this here. And align this and this here. Okay, so here we are getting like the basic shape down. Now as we got this, let's go into the top view by hitting 7. And there will be a slight issue, because as you can see, the sole in this part is way wider than the actual shoe mesh. So in the top view, we're gonna just have to freestyle a bit. Okay, so let's just start selecting and moving the vertices here. Get this. Let's move those here. Let's move those here. These here, which is in G and X. Let's move this amount of vertices right here, so we like have this kind of curved feel to the whole shoe. Because shoes are not symmetrical, so we need to replicate it in this model too. Just move them. Let's move this part like this. This part over here. Okay, so right now it looks pretty bad, but we'll get there. Okay, now let's also start doing the basic shapes. So this part here is definitely not supposed to be like this. That's for sure. But first let's just move these vertices here up a bit, so we have kind of a curved feel to it. And we can also move them all a bit back, so it's all nice and aligned. Now let's also align those vertices, because they kind of messed up from what we were doing in the top view. Okay. Now we should also add a loop cut here, so we have some more vertices to work with here. Again, let's select those, move them. And also we don't want them to follow the exact shape of the sole image, but to be pushed a bit inside, because again the sole is wider than the actual shoe mesh. Let's just select all those vertices right near the sole. Just push them all a bit in, so it's good and ready. Okay, this should be more than good. Okay, now what we need is a loop cut going like this here. But if we try to edit right now, wait, how do I delete it? Okay. Look at this. If we try to do it right now, we'll have this. So yeah, we can either add this one or this one. It just doesn't work. So what we should do is to mess with our geometry a bit here. Now, how will we do that? Let's hit K for our knife tool. Let's make this shape here. Like this, here, here. Go through here and into here. Now also let me do something with the view, so we don't have any clipping. Okay, so now as you got that, we should select these edges and by hitting Alt hit this whole edge loop and hit Ctrl X. Okay, so now we can add this here, and this geometry is just much better for the sneakers. Let's just adjust them again, because we kind of messed them up right here. Okay, now let's work on this front part, because it is definitely not good right now. Let's maybe even move those faces a bit here. And the vertices. And let's start by selecting those, and just pushing them in by using SX. Let's push them all in, so they're nice and stacked in there. Okay, get a little wider here for the done. And even though our shoes are not symmetrical, we still need to make this front part look good. So let's just try to make it look basically like in the reference images. I think we can even just use this one, because it just works. Now, even though they're like really, they're like almost perfectly straight, there's still a slight curve going from here to here, so we still have to push them up, like here. Okay, let's... This looks pretty good, if you ask me. Considering that that the shoe will also be pretty old and ruined, like in these images, we don't need it to be 100% accurate, because they're made out of leather, so leather can move, leather can shrink, it can get like all different types of shapes, so I wouldn't really sweat it much. Okay, now what should we do next is add another 2 loop cuts over here and over here. Now that we got them, let's select those faces, also move them up like this a bit, so we have it all nice and curved. Let's just select them like this, like this here. Yeah, we also haven't really moved this one, even though we should. Okay, here we are. Now we added a bunch of different geometry, so let's go into the top view and start adjusting it all to our top view. Okay, so let's start aligning. Now I honestly don't know exactly how we should align it here, so it just really, I'm doing it all by eye, if I'm being honest. Let's select those vertices. Which ones have we added? I think this one. This is the new one. Or maybe not. So yeah, basically just those. Okay, so we'll definitely need to locus here and here, but not right now. Right now we should focus on actually another loop cut right here. Yeah, it's all enough, but we need to make this like, you know, this kind of shape here. So it's a bit wider near the sole, because like of all the compression and stuff near the sole. Let's now add another loop cut here. Like those. Move it to the side a bit, because it's obviously the other side here. Oh, and yeah, we also haven't messed with these parts here. They're also pretty important. Let's do it like this, and like this. Yeah, this should be good. So now let's shade smooth it so to kind of see the shape. And even though it's really not distinguishable, we are getting there. Trust me, we are getting the shape down. Let's go like this here. Okay. Okay, now that we added this, I also don't think that we messed with it here. Yeah, we might not have did that. And we actually need to. This is actually a pretty important part of the sneaker. This little crevice here. It's on almost every short and sneaker, and it's really important to get right. Now I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna move this one a bit right here. By hitting G 2 times, we can move it along the other vertices or edges. Yes, we can cut it like this a bit. And now the shape of our shoe right here is not bad. It's definitely not bad. But here I think we should still make some adjustments. And also let's maybe even load in our image from the top. Shift A, reference, top. Again, opacity, lowered a bit. Perspective. That's front, and let's also hide the sole image for now, because it's gonna just mess us up. Okay, let's align. Yeah, we gotta rotate it, I'm pretty sure. Like this. So now if we actually do loop tools and circle here, and just not go like the whole way, but just circle it out a bit. There should be some positive from this, because this part over here actually needs to be circular, like this. Let's align all the vertices here, so they are also aligned with our circular shape. Yeah, there is some stuff going on over here. We should definitely clean it up. All I'm doing here is just hitting G, just moving the vertices so they align with the shape that we have in our reference images. It's really nothing much. I'm being honest. Got this image here too, which could come in handy. Okay, so basically this whole part here needs to be kind of flat actually. I haven't really noticed that yet. Okay, I mean, the back is nice. There's nothing really wrong with the back. Now this part over here, I think we could make it just a bit thinner. And yeah, it actually works. It actually gives some good stuff. Let's also move all this part a bit down, so it's again all more proportional. Okay, now for this outer side, I think it's pretty nice. I mean, of course, it can always be better, and we'll probably cover it again. But as for right now, I'm satisfied with it. So let's see what we got next. Next we gotta add the loop cuts here, which I have already talked about. Now let's go into the top view, straight up into the top view, because we really need to align it with shape. Oh, and this is not the shape. This is, yeah. Just move it to the side, this one to the side, this one to the side. Again, not all the way to the edges. This one here to the side, this one here. Yeah, I think like this whole part is pretty fat, so might also kind of have it to go like this here. Okay, now it should really resemble what we're trying to make here. And believe it or not, it actually looks like this. But still we need some work done on this part. I just can't let it go, I'm not gonna lie. We gotta get it perfect. Let's move those vertices here. I think we can push this part in a bit, like this. And like this. Let's put this part here. Yeah, it actually seems really good. We are definitely getting there. Oh, now this part is pushed in, so we gotta... I think we actually just gotta push this whole part out. Because it's not even supposed to be pushed in, if I'm being honest. Yeah, this and even this parts. We can move this one a bit more in. So we just have a bit more definition here. Let's do the same thing for this. Push it out a bit.
Sometimes I wish I was a cloud.
I think we can push this in. Yeah, it doesn't really change that much. Let's move those vertices. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, gotta move those too. So this whole part is kind of flat, but at the same time not so much, because we're gonna definitely change it in the future. Okay, so now we need another vertex or another loop cut going like this here. for this, we'll also need to mess with our geometry a bit. Let's hit K and make a shape like this here. Now let's add another 2 edges here with K in those parts. Let's delete or more like dissolve these edges by hitting Ctrl X. Let's add a loop cut or more of a cut here, and pretty sure that in this part, yeah, I think in this part too. And let's dissolve those edges too. Okay, now we got it. Now let's just move them all so they're evenly distributed on our geometry. Like this. Let's move this whole thing to the front actually. Like at least more to the front than it is right now. Huh, and we also like, kind of gotta rotate it a bit to align it with this part. Oh yeah, we kind of let our guard down, and now it's all pretty messed up here. This whole part needs to be really flat, and that's, I'd say, like the biggest issue we have right now, because we just have really a lot of vertices here, which can make it a bit more difficult, but still we got it. Again, this part here needs to be flat. Let's see how it will all smooth out if we add this. I'd say it's pretty nice. Yeah, I don't think it's really that bad. But now, now as I'm seeing here, we can make this part a bit more like upwards. So yeah, let's just do that, because it's just gonna make our life way easier in the future with all the mesh, with the UV unwrap, and also like just push it all up a bit like this. Nah, that's way too much. Like this? Yeah, like this. Okay, so this should honestly be about it for now. Okay, so what we need to do now is to add our solidify. Let's apply the scale by using Ctrl A. Let's make it a bit smaller, like 0.01. Nah, 0.001. Yeah. And let's add our subdivision surface here. Now, let's select all those faces. I just hit C, so it's easier to just brush them all out. Now that we've got them selected, let's just hit I one time, just a little bit of offset, and Y and I one more time. So we have this edge just sharp and ready to go. Oh, that's pretty bad. Should not have this selected. Again, I a little offset, and I another time, just so it stays. Okay, here we got it. Now let's also make our base shape of the sole. Wait, I think we got some problems here with the vertices. Let's line them all one more time, so they're all nice. Yeah, I don't think we actually spent too much time in the side view aligning them, so we might have some issues here. But it's all good. Nothing not fixable. So all straight, it's all good. Okay, yeah. Now, let's select all those faces again. Hit Ctrl plus once, twice. So we have this whole soul part selected. Shift D, P selection. Let's remove solidify of this one, and let's, by holding Alt, let's select these two edge loops and hit Ctrl X. Okay, yeah, like this. Okay, it doesn't really work. Okay, we need to, by using Ctrl Z, we need to revert all our steps here, because it just does not work, but it's no issue. Let's do those previous steps again. Align them. Align the vertices by just selecting them and using G to move them. Okay, got them all like this. Got this here, this a bit here, and this a bit more pushed in, and this part more pushed out like this. Okay, now let's, before actually sharpening this part, let's just select it and hit Shift D, P selection, remove solidify, and now we can select the faces, hit Y once, Y twice, and now let's work with our soul a bit here. Let's just hit E to extrude it out. I guess we can also select this whole part, hit I twice to sharpen it too. Okay, as you can see, it's already getting the shape here. Not bad at all. Now let's start aligning. Let's actually move this face here, so we have more geometry to work with. Let's start aligning our vertices here with the soul. And just move them all down, so they follow this like shape. Okay, and we also need Okay, so there are definitely I don't know why, but it's moving a bit weird here. Let's just push them down. So there's no need for this. This, yeah. Now we definitely need to work a bit on the shape, especially on this front shape, because it definitely does not resemble a Converse sneaker right now. So let's unhide our top view. Yeah, this is kind of bad. Let's select those. And honestly, we don't even need those references. We can just, I think we can just move them by eye. Okay, so we need to basically make this whole shape a bit wider, like right by the front. So let's do this, like this. Then we also need to move these ones, so it's all just more bulkier. Okay, and like, to be honest, it looks good. It should definitely work, that's for sure. And another part, let's also just move this whole thing a bit like this on the y-axis. Okay, maybe this is too much, just a little bit, so it's not that pointy. Okay, I mean, if we're being real, then like we need to make this part. I wanted to make this part less bulky too, because it just, I don't think it really works in this part. We'll do this by just using proportional editing. It's either O key or it's right on top here. We gotta select it, hit GX, just gotta move it here. Okay, I think this definitely looks way better than it looked before. Now let me also do this. And we kind of have to move these vertices here. Because all of our changes, this whole thing is kind of messed up now. So let's just perform some work on these parts, make it a bit smoother, like here, here, here. Okay, yeah, it should definitely yeah, it's alright. Okay, it's not really alright, because we need to move this face, or these vertices, like this too, so it's even more pointy, and this face like this, so we have this like nice curved shape here. Okay, now we got something, now we're talking. Let's also mess. I will actually hit Shift D, so we have it as a backup. Hit M, new collection called backup. So if we mess it up, we have a backup. And now we need to make the sole part. We need to make it bulkier, because like as you can see, it's a bit wider and a bit longer than the actual shoe, especially in this part, because it also got this like protection plate for skating, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, we need to move it. But let's actually start from it. By hitting Control, let's select all those faces. Select proportional editing. S, X, scale it. This part. And add another. Look at here. And kinda... Huh. And actually really move this part. Like we really need to move it. Like this. So basically this whole thing needs to be really pushed out. Like this. Let's also mess with this shape. Move this. And it is somehow still not enough. It's crazy. Select those two faces. Let's move this ones. Hit GY to move them along the y-axis and s-axis to kind of push them out. Okay, we're kind of getting there. And I also need to do the same thing with basically this whole part. Let's hit SX to push it out. Maybe even more, like this. Like this. And we can also mess with this part of it. Okay, what I'm doing now is just moving the vertices to follow this shape here. It's kind of pushed in. Okay, this seems pretty nice. Okay, so this shape seems really good. I'm more than satisfied with how it turned out. Now let's start with the details. Okay, so let's start with this back part. So, what do we have here? We got this plate, we got this cutout here for the zipper, and we got those plates right here that are sewn onto the leather. We need to make them all. Okay, let's start with this like cube plate that we got there. Okay, yeah, it actually looks good. Yeah, it looks really good. So how should we make this plate? Let's hit Shift A, mesh plane, rotate it, scale it down. And if I'm being honest, I usually just eyeball things like that. So I think the width is like this. The length is like this. Yeah, this should be good. Yeah, and this whole part. Maybe a bit bigger and a bit longer. Yeah, this seems about right. Maybe, yeah, like this. Okay, now let's move this edge a bit here, so it kind of aligns. Let's just add these things here, so we'll have it nice nice and edged out when we add the subdivision surface. Add some loop cuts here, and let's add a shrink wrap modifier. Our target will be this mesh of the shoe. Okay, looks great. Now let's add a solidify modifier. Let's apply our scale. This should be like 0.01, right? Maybe even 0.02. Nah, 0.016. Yeah, that sounds good. And let's add our subdivision surface, so it's all smooth and beveled. Okay, so this was pretty easy. But like, if I'm being honest, all those plates follow basically the exact same process. Like even the circular shape here, this plate, we just modeled the shape, and then we just shrink wrap it onto our mesh. Yeah, like even this part right here, that goes from here to here, we'll make them all with the same technique. Okay, so now that we got this plate here, let's maybe push this part down a bit, so it's a bit more aligned. Okay, yeah, it's okay. Now let's make the cutout in our mesh. Okay, so here it is. Now, it shouldn't be this difficult. We should just make a hole here. It also does not need to be like perfect, because again, it's leather, it's old, it's probably messed up by now. So yeah, let's just deselect those two modifiers, so it's easier to work with. Let's make it a bit wider at the top, because like of course of the wear and tear that those shoes have been through. Top will be a bit wider. Okay, I think I think this is about good. Let's select them and delete them. Okay, this is pretty good. Actually, it's not. I'm sorry, it's not really good. We need to move these two edges a bit up like this. So they are about here, where our plate ends, and now we can delete them. Okay, yeah, this is gonna be... Actually, what we can use here is... I think we could get away by just using our like weight. Where is it? Yeah. Increase.
It is not death that a man but he should fear. Never
Nah. I don't think we can really use it. I mean, we can use it in these parts just a bit, like this, so it's... What we can use though is a bevel. Now, of course, it will kind of mess up our geometry. That's for sure. But like, who really cares? Okay, no, we can't do this. Damn. I mean, we could just do this. And we need... Yeah, we actually need a loop cut here anyway, so yeah. This is nice. This should more than work. Let's now adjust all those vertices that we just created, so they are all nice and evenly distributed. And let's actually make this here. Okay, this is good. This is good. I don't really know what we got going on here. Hopefully nothing major. Okay, yeah, this is nice. And let's push this part here in. Again, using proportional editing. A great tool for this kind of stuff. Okay, let's also increase our solidify like this. Yeah, this is way better. Now let's make the zipper part. Now I think we'll just do it with a plane, and we'll be able to like make the actual zipper texture in Substance Painter. Yeah, I think it will be way more convenient than just like modeling all those cubes, arraying them. It's gonna be a bunch of unused geometry, so yeah. Let's just make... Or actually, we don't even need to make a plane. We can just select this right here. Shift D, P, select it. Okay, we don't need solidify. Make those parts. Bevel this here. Fill it all in. Let's move these faces down a bit. Okay, this seems pretty nice. Let's also move those a bit down, so it's not poking through the top of our shoe. Like this. Okay, this is good. Another thing I noticed that like in this part it's also a bit wider, so why not make it? Just push them out a bit like this, and this should be good. Now I also think that we might have to do, or not. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's good. We just extrude it out like this. And oh, what we got going on here? Something weird. Okay, like this. Yeah, just. Okay, yeah, now it's all good. I just add the loop cuts here, and also here. Let's move this up a bit. Okay, this is nice. Yeah, this is good. Maybe make it even more wider at the top. Widen this tool with SX and this tool with SX. Just use it to do it like this. Okay, yeah, this is more than good. Now, now let's work on this part. Again, it should not be too difficult. Just a basic plate, which we can even duplicate from here. But how far it goes. Huh. I think it goes a bit like... Let's see. I think like this. Yeah, this should be pretty accurate. Let's select it all the way through here and all the way through here. Shift D, P, selection. Let's dissolve this edge here because we don't need it no more. Let's remove solidify from this one. We can keep the subdivision. It should not really mess up the plan. That's X. Kind of move it out. Now it kind of goes like. Let me actually see. I think it's kind of goes like. It's kind of curved, so let's go like this. As now GZ, move it along the Z axis. Like this, as Z0, so it's nice and aligned. And actually, maybe not even nice and aligned, because we need to work with this mesh here a bit. Let's hit this and this, hit slash to separate the view on the objects. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. And I just move our vertices a bit down to make this part over here curved. It doesn't even really need to follow the reference, if I'm being honest. We just need to make it curved, like that's it. Maybe even more curved, like let's not forget that it's a pretty old shoe we're making. It's a really vintage shoe, it's a really rare shoe, so you probably cannot find a lot of those in good condition. Okay, yeah, like this. Maybe it should even be a bit more wide, now that I'm thinking about it. Let's push it down a bit, like that. Yeah. Okay, this seems pretty good. Let's now add loop cuts to make all the edges sharp. Let's select this vertices here, like this, these vertices here, move them up like this, and let's add our shrink wrap. Now let's add our solidify, apply scale, like this, and we also forgot to stack on the rim here. What this does is removes this filler part on the inside, which we don't need. And here we also need on the rim. Seems a bit messed up here, so let's just move it down. Okay. 0.001. Yeah. Let's look at the back. Okay, yeah, I think it's pretty nice. Got the same shape. Let's refine it even more actually, so it like fully covers our main shape. Like this here, okay. And like this here. Like this. Like this. And like this. Okay. This seems pretty nice. Now let's actually go all the way over to the front and make this white plate here, so we can start to actually see how our model is looking. Let's select those faces right here, Shift D, P selection. Again, remove the solidify. We can leave the subject surface. Let's not select shrink wrap yet. Let's hit Alt S to scale it up a bit. Let's by holding Alt, let's select this edge loop and move it a bit to the front, so it basically follows the shape or the border of this part here. Now we can select shrink wrap it, solidify on the rim, Control A, apply scale, -0.001, add this here. Yeah, and it actually looks really good. Yeah, but we need to make it maybe like 0.0013. Yeah, it looks nice. And let's also straighten it out. I mean, it's kind of like, you know, not accurate in our reference too, but still, I want to make it accurate. It just looks better, I think. So let's make it a bit like... Oh. Huh. It is actually not that far in the image, but okay. I think we should get away with it. Hmm. Yeah, I also think that we should maybe do a little something with this thing here, because it's not really that well right now. Let's push these ones. Let's just push it all down like this. Okay, maybe let's push it a bit up. And I still think that we maybe should make it a bit shorter. Just a bit though, because yeah, like this. Because it still looks a little less short in here. But okay, now it looks good. It looks good, it looks straight. Or it doesn't really look straight, because we still need to straighten it out a bit. Let's move this one, this one, this one. Like, as you can see, it actually needs to be... Huh, wait. It actually needs to be like... Let's see. Okay. Let's select this part, SX or SY. Scale it a bit like this. So it's straight. Okay, we got this. Let's add a loop cut here to sharpen it. Okay. Okay, so this plate is basically done. Now let's move on to the bigger fish. Let's move on to this long plate here. It is actually one of the hardest parts of like every sneaker, or like this and laces, I would say, but it needs to be done, so let's get into it. Or wait, first of all, let's also make this Converse logo here. Let's create a circle. Let's make it like 16 vertices. Let's rotate it. Hit Ctrl 3 to go into our opposite side view. It needs to be, I think, like this. Maybe a bit bigger. Even more bigger. Like this, I'd say. I mean, we can still change it in the future, so it doesn't really matter. Let's now rotate it a bit so it follows our normals here. Let's select it and hit F3. Great fill. Now we need to be axis aligned, so let's just offset it by 2. Maybe, okay, yeah, like this. Apply our subdivision, shrink wrap it onto the mesh, solidify, apply scale on the rim. We also need to select it, hit Shift N. Wait. Okay, it's kind of messed up. Wait a minute. What is it? Oh yeah, Shift N. Inside. Now it should work. Yeah, now it works. Like what? Like 0.01 again. Nah, maybe better. Like 0.015. 8. Yeah, this is nice. Let's add another subdivision surface. Hit I to insert to make it all a bit smoother. Okay. Again, in the future we can adjust the scale and the position, so it doesn't really matter right now. And also let's make those two pins. Let me see if I have a bit better image of them, so we can like see more detail. I guess not. Okay. Then let's just make pins. I don't think it really matters how identical they will look. Let's add a circle. Let's scale it down. Let's hit ES, insert it like this, EX to extrude out, EX again to insert it like this, and EX on this stuff. Okay, that's basically the entire pin. Now let's set a subdivision surface. Let's apply all transforms. It's Control A, all transforms. Right click, set origin to geometry to apply all the transforms to just work better with the mesh. Let's adjust everything like this, Okay, this is good. And also, just because the scale of it is like, it's a bit smaller, we might gotta make it a bit less white like this. So what I'm doing is hitting S, Shift X. So it's only scaling along Z and Y axis. So let's scale it down like this. Okay, yeah, this is even better. Let's move this one here. Let's move this one here. This one here. Okay, yeah, it's nice. Let's rotate it. And it's just two pins over here. I think they're for ventilation there, but I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments. The scale of it is like this, I'm pretty sure. Okay, yeah, it's nice. It's really nice. Okay, let's move it like this. Got the first one, and Shift D, Y, R, Z to rotate it along the Z axis, and move it like here. Yeah, this is nice. It's all coming together. Let's move it a bit closer like this, and again rotate it a bit like this. And move it a bit out. Okay, this is nice. Now I think we won't really make holes here in the actual mesh. we can just like paint this white stuff in the substance painter to just make an illusion that there is like an actual ventilation system there. But as for now, I don't think we should really bother with that. Okay, so we've been putting it out now, but now it's finally time to make this part. So let's get into it. Okay, so what we make first is an actual geometry. So let's create a plane, scale it down, rotate it, and start aligning it. Okay, now it should start from like right here. Well, like right here. Yeah, like right here, I think. And we just need to model this entire part. Let's start. Let's push it a bit out so it doesn't clip into our mesh. And let's start projecting the curve. What I'm doing right now is just extruding and moving the edge along our mesh, rotating it, and basically I'm pretty sure that we need to get all the way. Now a good thing about it is I think that it just let me find a good reference image so I can kind of follow it. Yeah, it just kind of goes into our sole, because on most sneakers those two parts actually connect right here, so it's a bit trickier to make, but this should be just a bit easier. Still not easy though, like we'll have to do a lot of adjusting, a lot of moving, but okay, here we are, already got it. Now let's start aligning it. Let's move it like this, like this, like this. Let's push these ones in. These ones in. These ones in. These ones in. Just pushing it all in, so it kind of follows the shape of our shoe base mesh. Okay, like this. And I'm definitely sure that it should be like way fatter. If we can say that. Just make it a bit fatter, like this. Make this part a bit wider. Okay, yeah, this should be really nice. Let's again move them all a bit inside here. Move these parts out. As I said, it's gonna be a lot of adjusting, so get ready. Okay, like this. Now let's apply. Let's select our shrink wrap actually. No, what am I saying? Let's select our mesh and make those edges sharper. Except for this one here, it should be curved. And I'm pretty sure that like, this whole part here needs to be way more like inside there. Yeah, like it is even seen from the top. So just align it with this. Maybe not like all the way, but still. Okay, let's move it up like this. And let's move it out like this. Oh, let's also add a little cut here. And here we need to move it like this, so it doesn't mess up our curve here. If you know what I'm saying. Okay, now we can finally add our shrink wrap. Target mesh. Solidify. Only rim. Scale. Or maybe like even all transforms. Make it like this. Nah, we definitely need to make it way wider. Maybe even like this, because this part like actually needs a lot of geometry and a lot of thickness. Let's move this here. And I actually think we should be able to... Hold on, I should be able to do this. Yeah, okay, this is gonna be... Yeah, this is gonna be way better. Now, what should we do? Okay, so as we can see here in the original one, it doesn't go exactly like that. But if I'm being honest, it's not really a problem. We gotta have a bit of our own design to it, right? We can just copy everything. Okay. Should we add another subdivision surface? Because I think it's yeah. This is definitely better. Okay, so I think this part is, if you mind, fair enough. Yeah. This part is good actually. Like, I don't think we can do any more changes to it. Just move this here maybe a bit. This here like this, so... Or maybe even not that, like, because it's really not that curved in here. You know, like... Yeah,